you need to talk to your customers on every platform where they are. So your customers will contact you through email, obviously, but also on Facebook comments, on Instagram. They will send you messenger comments, but potentially even SMS if you're doing any type of SMS marketing. So they're expecting your team to be available everywhere where they are reaching out from. And it's even more true that they're expecting to be able to talk to someone from your company.
Welcome to the Milk Bottle Shopify e-commerce podcast, brought to you by Milk Bottle Labs, Ireland's top-rated Shopify experts. Milk Bottle Labs build, upgrade, migrate and market Shopify and Shopify Plus stores all over the world. Milk Bottle will migrate you onto Shopify with zero interruption, guaranteed, or optimize your Shopify store and maximize store sales. This podcast is kindly supported by our favorite Shopify app and the only app we install in every store. Rewind.io is the leading backup solution for your Shopify store. We'll talk more about Rewind later. Now over to your host, founder of Milk Bottle Labs, Keith Matthews.
Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of the Milk Bottle Shopify e-commerce podcast. Today I'm delighted to talk to Philippe Roireau. He is the head of partnerships at Gorgias.io. Gorgias is a wonderful customer service platform which has been designed specifically for Shopify store owners. And today we discuss how Gorgias can help you turn customer service from a cost center into a profit center. So here goes. Philippe from Gorgias, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much, Keith, for having us.
Great to have you. It's been a while since we met and I've been watching your growth in the market, the product. Its growth is accelerating and I can see that it's been adopted by a lot of Shopify merchants. So we'll talk about Gorgias in a few minutes. But first, Philippe, where are you calling from? I'm
in Montreal right now, just enjoying the summer with family and friends. Usually based in Toronto, but our company is a pure SaaS play from San Francisco. So I spend a lot of time there as well.
So your head office is in San Francisco?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So when I hear the French accent then, that's obviously French Montreal, is that right?
Yeah, that's the French-Canadian side of me that I can't get rid of, no matter how hard I try.
Very good. And your history, Philippe, you have an interesting history. You worked for Google at one point, is that right?
Yeah, that was one step of the way. When I graduated from university, I got recruited at Microsoft, did some time there in Montreal and then in Paris. And then for some reason, Google asked me if I wanted to go in Poland. So I found myself in Poland with a bunch of French dudes, all young grads, and we had a great time. And also, through my time at Google, I ended up in Ireland a few times. So I was in Dublin and had a chance to visit the country quite a bit, spending a few months in there. So yeah, it was great. And then I had the crazy idea to start a beverage business. So yeah, don't ask me why. It was a long story. And then I came back to Canada to start that business. Lasted a few years. And then Shopify, we started to see a lot of movement at the market with Shopify. And one of my friends was just starting a small store and was just hitting his first strides in e-commerce and told me, hey, look, I found this platform. It seems like we can do something with it. And so yeah, I became a merchant and fast enough, we were selling millions of dollars, and we were one of the fastest growing merchants in Canada. And we ended up having a lot of customer service issues. So we turned ourselves toward the solution, the default solution in the market, which was Zendesk, but it still wasn't helping us and we couldn't scale and help our customers the right way. So we were on Shopify Plus at that moment. And I asked our Shopify MSM, hey, is there another solution or something that, can help us streamline our processes when it comes to customer service? And he was like, yeah, there's this solution there. Gorgias, it's just starting. It's really bare bone, but you should check it out. So we tried it, and overnight, within a few months, we changed completely the structure of our customer service team, going from 12 agents in the Philippines and 2 in Toronto to 2 agents in the Philippines and 2 in Toronto. So that's how big of an impact Gorgias did for our company 3 years ago, when it was barely having product market fit. So that's how it all started, and I met Rome, our CEO.
You were actually, ironically, you were one of the first customers of Gorgias.
Apparently, at some point, I was 25% of their annual recurring revenue. So
Wow.
I didn't know that back at the time. I might have been more cautious before using that software. But yeah, that's just a little funny story of how it all started. We were their largest client by quite a margin there. But I was wondering why we were getting so much attention from the CEO and the CTO directly.
Just before I pressed record there, you mentioned then that you were one of the first employees. So did you contact them at some point and say, listen, are you hiring? Or how did that come about?
So we were drop shipping, and I wanted, when it comes to our e-commerce stores, I wanted to move toward more brand building and so on, where my partner was more saying hey, let's just keep this cash flow drop shipping. And at the same time, I became quite acquainted with Romain, our CEO, and we realized that we did the same school, the same program, and a few things just a few years apart. And I just I really loved the product. I was really a big fanboy for that product. They were at that point, a year after we started using them as a company, it was clear that now Gorgias had a product market fit. They still had to figure out how to accelerate growth. So I was Romain, let's see how we can work together. Let's try a few growth tests in the company. Yeah, let's just give this a shot as a consultant for a month or two and see the type of results that we can generate. So we tried a few things, and we discovered that channel was going to work well for the company. And that's how I became involved full-time, just going in there and developing relationship with agencies such as Milk Bottle, and also making sure that we're everywhere when it comes to Shopify and e-commerce events. And it's been a great road for us. Yeah, but as you said, I joined the company. There was 4 employees just a little bit over a year ago, a year and 2 months, and now we just crossed 30.
Yeah, I regularly talk to app developers who have, I suppose, after a couple of years of growth, they then begin to describe themselves as a SaaS company because that's what they become. And it's great to see the growth in such a short space of time. It's fantastic. So well done on that. For a high-performing Shopify store, if you're gathering hundreds or thousands of customers a week, you're delivering thousands of products a week, the potential for contact with your customer from a positive point of view and from a negative point of view in terms of delivery questions, product quality, all of that kind of stuff, customer service. It's a difficult thing to manage. And you mentioned earlier on, you used previous products in your own e-commerce venture. Just explain to everybody what exactly Gorgias does and why it's different.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, as you just alluded to, you need to talk to your customers on every platform where they are. So your customers will contact you through email, obviously, but also on Facebook comments, on Instagram. They will send you messenger comments, but potentially even SMS if you're doing any type of SMS marketing. So they're expecting your team to be available everywhere where they are reaching out from. And it's even more true that they're expecting to be able to talk to someone from your company on every marketing channel that you are using. If you are doing SMS marketing and you're not replying to your SMS, there's something wrong with your processes. If you're doing, if you're available on Messenger and you're even growing your Messenger list and doing Messenger bots or things like that, but when somebody asks a genuine question, if you can't be on top of that because there's too much noise from your bots that is created, that's not right for the customer, and it's not the experience that they are expecting. So it might lead to frustration. Likewise, if they're asking questions on your Facebook or Instagram comments, the customer that asked the question might not come back to see if you replied to them, although they will get a notification if you do. But it's all the other customers that see that you're not replying to your customers. If they see a question that has been asked 2-3 days ago on your Facebook ads, and no one from the company ever went there to monitor or provide any type of insights, the other people that see that, it reduces the credibility of your company.
So it looks bad.
Yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad for everybody that you're pushing and paying for your ads to be in front of. So the first thing that Gorgias does is it aggregates all your communication channel in one place so that your customer service agents, don't need to shuffle through different platforms. They don't need to go through the Facebook backend or the SMS app backend or an email provider. It's all in one place. But the second thing that it does is that it maps all those conversations automatically to a Shopify profile. So if somebody purchased and they're contacting you on Messenger, we will map every time that Messenger conversation to a Shopify customer profile along with all the order data. And then since you have all this data available for the customer, you can use those data points to be inserted automatically in your canned responses and also build rules and workflows out of those data points. So somebody asking a very standard question such as, where's my order? Well, you can reply in one click with all of their data independent on the channel where they are asking that question from.
From a Shopify point of view, when you log into your dashboard, obviously you've got full details of the customer when you click into an order or you click into a customer. But are you saying that you can basically design a system where you can place different styles of customers or values of customers into buckets and it collates all of their contact details outside of the actual Shopify order, for example, social, and then allows you then to contact that customer whichever way you want? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, that's right. And it allows you to connect the customer profile on any channel where they're contacting you from to their Shopify data. So if they're contacting you on Instagram, you can know that this person also contacted you on chat, on email, and that he purchased, a pair of jeans 2 weeks ago and that he didn't receive his order yet. So you can aggregate and use all of those data points in order to create a very unique experience and consistent experience.
One of the big advantages that I see with your particular product, and we've seen this happen with a number of Plus merchants where they scale at a very fast pace over 2 or 3 years. And then after 2 or 3 years, they realize that they've actually had 2 or 3 different developers and 10 or 15 staff in the store. And it's not out of control, but it certainly isn't the way it should be. One of the benefits of using Gorgias is the fact that you can add staff members, but they don't actually touch the store. So could you just explain exactly how that works?
It's especially important if you're hiring a third-party company to manage your support. Let's say you're scaling fast. You don't want to hire support agents in-house. You're finding a chat center to manage your conversations. Do you want everybody to have access to all your store data, your customer list, your email list, and so on? No, you just want them to see what's relevant for them. So when you're working with Gorgias, unlike any other platform, you don't need to give store access to most of your customer service agents because all of the actions that they would usually need to go in the store for can be realized from that main dashboard. So if you need to process a refund, canceling an order, editing a shipping address, and so on, all of this can be done directly from the customer's profile or dashboard within Gorgias. And all the actions that you're taking there will be reflected in Shopify. So yeah, you're right. If you're outsourcing to the Philippines, your customer service, you don't want to give everybody your Shopify store data. So this is a great way to avoid potential security risk as well.
It certainly is. Another app that we love is actually the team at Rewind are supporting the podcast is the Rewind app, where it's basically an insurance policy for your store, where if somebody like an agent goes in with very little experience and unfortunately makes a mistake in the store, Rewind will rewind the store back to its original state. But ultimately, I think where most serious businesses want to get to is to actually keep people out of the store. And of course, your application is perfect for that.
Yeah, I've used Rewind on my stores as well. And you're right. It's an insurance policy for your customer service, but also for the people writing the product descriptions, working really the website. You never know when something can blow up and you need to go back a few days to get back all your data back in order.
I wouldn't criticize the platform very often, but it's certainly very easy to delete content. And so
it's easy to screw up.
Exactly. One of the areas that I'm really interested in is the return on investment and, the commercial, I suppose the investment required and then the commercial return in any app. And one of the areas that I find surprising when we're talking to customers is that the first thing that a customer will ask is what cost an app is. If it's over $20 or $30, they seem to fail to understand the actual value of the app versus the return in monetary value. Now, I know that Gorgias effectively turns customer support into a profit center rather than a cost center. And I've heard you on occasions, describe Gorgias that way. Do you have any examples of stores where customer experience has been changed so much there has actually been a massive measurable return as a result of a proper CRM like Gorgias?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Gorgias, right now we power over 1,800 Shopify stores, from anywhere from like a solopreneur that just needs to save an hour a day to do more value-added tasks, all the way up to stores driving multiple hundreds of millions in sales and having a support team of over 100. So always the common denominator there is that they are on Shopify. At Gorgias, like our main mission, as you said, is to transform customer support from a cost center into a profit generator. And there are many ways that we do that. Actually, there's really a 3-step process that we will work with companies such as Movement or Rotties or Fjallraven towards achieving. And the first step of this process is to optimize the recurring questions and workflows that are happening in customer service, to really optimize and automate as much as possible. So for example, if you have often people asking how to apply a discount in your store, you'll want to create a workflow in Gorgias that will reply automatically to people asking how to apply a discount if they have not purchased yet. And if they have purchased, create a ticket that will be looked at by the customer support and replied to see if they are eligible for a refund. So in this case, a lot of the requests are being answered automatically just when it's relevant to answer how to apply a discount automatically so that the customer doesn't wait for your service team to get back to them and reply. So optimizing workflows is really the first step. Optimizing things such as where's my order, how to return and exchange. And this part alone will have an impact, usually about 30% in efficiency gain of the support team. So if you're just doing this with Gorgias from your current processes and you're going through this, it's going to take maybe a month or two, and you have, let's say, a team of 10 agents today, like in 2 months, you will most probably only need a team of 7 agents to do the same thing. So really like helping reduce the overhead costs. But that's also true if you're only one and you're spending 100% of your time down to 70% of your time. Then the second step is to make sure that you're available on all communication channels. So we talked a lot about Facebook comments, Instagram, SMS is huge this year. So you want to make sure that your support team is monitoring what is going on every channel. And for example, on SMS, if you're not using SMS yet as a store owner, just like go out there right now and try SMS for yourself. Like implement a quick abandoned cart SMS sequence or a win-back sequence. There's a handful of tools that integrate really well with Shopify, so I'm going to plug in there. People like Postscript, SMS Bump, Emotive, Retention Rocket. Retention Rocket is a great tool that allows you to do more.
Let's take a short break and I'll share the one app we install on every Shopify build. The team at Rewindio have developed the leading backup solution for Shopify. Did you know there is no way of recovering lost data from a Shopify store? Rewindio automatically backs up your store data. In the event of a data loss, usually due to human error, Rewind enables you to rewind your store back to its previous state. It's so simple and is used by some of the world's leading Shopify agencies, such as Kurt Elster of EtherCycle and Kelly Vaughan at the Tap Room. If your store is gaining traction, you may have multiple users making changes. Often store owners allow team or app developers enter a store to add code. Sometimes mistakes happen and data gets deleted. You can reduce your business risk today and prevent a costly catastrophe by installing the Rewindio app on your Shopify store. Get your first month of Rewind for free by simply responding to any of the welcome messages or emails you receive after you begin your 7-day trial and mention this podcast. Now, back to the interview. We'll put those references in the show notes at the end, just to explain to the listeners. Like, as I look at your integrations page, basically for the Shopify customer, you can integrate social channels, email, recharge billing if you're using recharge, and there's a host of integrations. So you can basically just use Gorgias as your daily control panel. For the SMS that you've just mentioned, are you suggesting that customers should implement an SMS facility? Is that just for order confirmation, or is it for refund confirmation, or is it for every interaction similar to an email?
Yeah, I implement it for marketing purposes. So you can send SMS for people that have abandoned cart and input their phone number in the checkout page. So people reaching checkout, but there's also other growth tools, but that's the easiest one. So people reaching checkout with an item in their cart and not converting, you can send them SMS. Obviously, they need to opt in, but like the opt-in rate is good enough. And you can send them SMS and re-engage with them, like reminding them what the item in their cart was over like a period of 24 hours. But that what happens at the SMS channel, unlike any other channel such as email, is that people will reply to those SMS because it's such an intimate channel. And they will tell you exactly why they didn't purchase the item from you in the first place. It can be anything from like you didn't have the right color, or didn't find the item they were looking for, or even they didn't get their paycheck this week or something like that. So, and then your customer service needs to be able to monitor those replies because you're sending a very intimate message directly on their phone. So they're replying. So you want to make sure that you're monitoring what's going on there. And it's such a great opportunity to know what's good and what's wrong with your website, because people will tell you exactly why they didn't purchase. And then you can try to convert them again through customer service and re-engaging through the SMS platform. So that's one way that really monitoring all communication channel will be driving revenue for your business. But also, if you're doing Facebook ads, and I know like most Shopify merchants, let's face it, spend a ton of money on Facebook ads, go see what's happening on your ads right now. Are people engaging positively on your ads, saying like tagging their friends and saying things such as, I want this, I need this in my life. Oh, I really like this item. Yes, like it's happening hundreds of times every day on people like spending about $1,000 a day. So you want to make sure that you're monitoring what's going on those ads in a very, very efficient manner, and that you're even potentially isolating those positive comments and replying at scale to everybody that has a positive intent. Because every time you're replying, it's notifying them. So it's like free remarketing. And customer service basically re-engage with people that already have a positive intent and incentivize them to visit the website. That's another way that you can leverage customer support and streamline processes in order to boost traffic and sales.
So you've mentioned two really important points. You just answered the question in terms of turning the cost center into a profit center. So what you're saying is that provided that you're responding to all interactions and giving your potential customers as many channels as possible to contact you, even though it's customer support, there's always going to be an opportunity to upsell because, as you say, they're interacting with you more and you're finding out more.
That's right. So you want to create more conversation opportunity. Another way to do that is through chat and chat campaigns. So a lot of people have a chat widget on their website. That's fine. But you can really go further and engage with your clients, depending on the content that they're seeing, and creating messages that are like small kind of proactive chat messages on your website that will display only when the client is seeing something relevant. So for example, if somebody is walking or just entering your website on the homepage, you can be like, hey, welcome to our store. We sell we're the yoga professional. Let me know if you need help finding something. Just very general, non-salesy, just welcoming them, just like you would welcome them if you had a retail location. And then let's say they're looking at a yoga pants or a pair of shoes or a shoe collection. Then you can have a message that's a little bit more on point. Hey, we have a special on our shoes. Use shoe 5 for 5% off. Do you have any question about the sizing? Usually women go half a size up if you're selling shoes. So you're doing many things with those chat messages that are proactive and automated. First, you're giving an incentive to purchase. Then you're acknowledging what they're seeing. And finally, you're putting in place an objection statement. Like you're busting an objection basically by a statement. In this case, what's the biggest objection for buying shoes online? It's the size. So having a statement like, hey, do you have questions about size? Usually women go half a size up. You're telling them, like you're just removing the fear out of their thing. And if they really have a question, well, they'll pop that chat open and they'll start engaging with a real customer service agent. And then the customer service agent can close the deal. So the last way that we really transform, or one of the other way that we transform support into a profit center, is that now we have a dashboard that is able to measure how much your customer service agents are transforming pre-sale inquiries coming through chat or other channel into actual sales, since we map all those conversations to Shopify data. So you can even incentivize your agents to just close more deals rather than always like answering questions such as where's my order. You want them to really have meaningful conversations with your clients that will really help build your brand and do more sales.
So you're turning your customer service team into effectively a sales team, and through Gorgias, you can actually measure that benefit in a dashboard. Sales that are linked to conversations through Gorgias are basically measured in the Gorgias dashboard, and then so that's how you're measuring the return on investment. Is that right?
That's right. And then you can really incentivize your team on closing more deals. And as you said, you're transforming your team not into like an online customer support team anymore. It's more like an effective sales team. And see your support agents as retail store associates. Once you get that mindset, you're like, yeah, that's the type of value that we need to deliver, just like if we had a real physical location and we want those conversations to be in that same type, then it's really powerful for like leading brands that have real products and real operations. It can really change, because what we see is like once a customer engages in a conversation prior to purchasing, the conversion rate usually will be around 20% if you reply fast. So how powerful is that? I don't know who has a 20% conversion rate on their website other than Amazon, but like I know certainly my stores didn't have that. So having those conversations, and like we have the data, right? We see it. So like if you're replying fast, you can expect like 20% conversion rate from pre-sale inquiries into actual sales.
It's kind of like a warm lead. The customer has contacted you or commented on one of your channels. So the chances are it could result in a sale because I suppose they've made an investment in time or made some sort of an emotional investment, whether that be by just being on your site or on one of your social channels. So what you've said makes perfect sense. You mentioned something earlier on there about workflows and a setup. With most pieces of software, provided the customer spends some time to actually set it up correctly, the long-term benefit is that they will save time because their automations will take a lot of the workload and will, as you say, automatically respond. Or if the customer has 10 frequently asked questions, you can just set Gorgias up to have those 10 workflows to automatically respond and answer to the customer depending on what channel they're on. Is there much setup required, for, I wouldn't say for an average store, but a successful Shopify store in your experience? Does it take much time and much skill to actually set Gorgias up to take full advantage of all of its capabilities?
The good news here is that we've set thousands of stores now. So we have a process that we go through with store owners, and it literally takes like half an hour discovery and then half an hour training for all the team. And we take care of all the setup for for a fair amount of our customers. So, but then it's just about having the store have a continuous improvement mindset. So let's say you have a team of 3 support agents. You want to have one of these always improve the system day by day, just a little bit. So instead of replying to tickets all day, like they should set an hour aside in order to find path to optimize workflows. And it's every day that gets put today will have a compounding effect over time. And it will exponentially improve the efficiency of your team. So changing the mindset a little bit into like, okay, so one of our agents is going to be a little bit more engaged and a champion and will like provide them a little bit of time to be more acquainted with the possibilities is going to be exponentially worth it over time. But to get set up, to get started, and to really starting to feel the impact, it literally takes a couple of hours and you're up and running.
So once the customer sets Gorgias up, if they scale and add different areas to the business or different social media channels, or they add any new channel of communication, they can be just bolted on as the company scales. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's a few clicks away. That simple.
Fantastic. Philippe, I have to say I've really enjoyed this one, and thank you very, very much for sharing your insights. We will put all of the links to Gorgias in the show notes. And listen, the best of luck in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much. Anybody that wants to reach out, put my email in the notes and don't hesitate.
Perfect. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Milk Bottle Shopify e-commerce podcast. All of our episodes are available on Spotify and iTunes. We really appreciate the support of our sponsor, Rewindio, the leading backup solution for your Shopify store. Get your first month of Rewind for free. Just respond to any of the welcome messages or emails after you begin your 7-day free trial and mention our podcast. Until the next time, take care.